Right, go back with this thing tonight. So it's a bit late. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to anyhow. Let's do bag number 2. It's quite small, so it won't take very long. This is actually kind of fiddly. It falls apart quite easily, but that's okay. The thing is, like, if it's standing up, I'm sure it's fine. But it's been sitting on my desk all day like this, not the best. So I'll put it over there. Batman can go over there, and we'll start with this one. More subscribers today, so it's a bit crazy. I don't know what is up with all the subscribers. By that I mean there's 12 now, but you know, it's like an increase of 5 or 6 in the last couple of weeks, so that's strange. Right, I like these little, I like his pants. They're 2 color ones. They're quite cool minifigures. It's definitely a very cool little Batman. Oh, I haven't finished. I didn't put the top part on. Where's this bit here? It looks like that. Oh, it's here. Never had one of these before. I think these are kind of exclusives. I got to get it on the right shoulder. I think that's right. Okay. Not much to it. So I didn't actually finish my story about things that go twang, being my arm. But I was trying to say well, what's this? Why have I got this? Why does this bit come out and not in the next part? Oh no, okay, we do have, what's this metal bed? He is going to be put together in this one, I see. Yes, so I was saying I went to cycle to Hamilton, which is a city some part way from the city that I currently live in, and that I lived in this time of which I am telling this story. So when I was many years ago, I decided to try long distance cycling, and I went to Hamilton. And it went really, really well, like the trip down there. It's downhill from where I am. Not downhill, it's like below, if you look on the globe. It's further south, you know. And yes, and so in fact it was kind of like one of those days you're like, wow, I did an awful lot this day. Because not only did I cycle to Hamilton, I left at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I actually had to go into university to do some university stuff at the time because I was a university student. And so then I finally got around to do it, and 7 or so hours later on I managed to get to where I was going, and it all went well. I was a bit late. It was like 10 o'clock or 10:30 at night, and there was nowhere to stay, so I ended up sleeping in a field. In a very, very silly way. Like I picked a spot that was basically a little hole in the ground, and I slept in it as though I was like this. It's like, why would you do this? But I was very self-conscious that someone was going to find me. But it was in like an industrial area, miles away from anything, and no one would have found me. But you know how it is when you're sleeping out under the stars. I didn't, it sounds really, I had kind of like planned to do this. I was kind of like, oh well, I'm not going to get there in time to find any accommodations, so I'll just sleep. So I had sufficient stuff to sleep out in the open as long as it wasn't raining. So where's the other hook for this? So this is quite, like, I think I always feel good to get lots of hooks, even though these things break off a bit too easily. I wish I kind of want to have hooks that are a bit easier to move around. But then I guess I just fall down on the thing. Yeah, and so that was all good, and I slept kind of poorly, but you're in the like, wow, I did a long distance, a reasonably long distance cycle that you could look at a map, and it's like quite substantial that you could see on a large scale map. And so the next day I woke up and I headed into Hamilton properly, because I'd been there the night beforehand, but where I slept was out of Hamilton, and then I decided to go to the zoo, as you do, because Hamilton has a zoo, even though I think half people who ever travel through Hamilton do not know that it has a zoo. I just read that it had one somewhere, and they had barn owls. I'm not a big zoo fan anymore, but back then I thought, well, I wanted to see a barn owl because we don't have barn owls in New Zealand. And so I went to the zoo and I saw a barn owl. But while I was walking around in the zoo, like obviously the cycling had done something to my body. and I was tired, and my muscles were tired and everything. But then as I was walking around, something went snap with twang in my leg, and then I had trouble walking for the rest of the day. I did manage to get around, and so that was the other time that I can think of having a twanging sensation, which was that, and it was very like a very definite, walking around, and then suddenly there was like something snapped in my leg, and it was like, oh, like it didn't actually feel like something snapped, it just sounded like internally like something snapped. How come this one's almost put together? Like, just imagine that, like in the plastic bag, it just happened that these two pieces had fallen together at some point in their travel. So I wonder what the probability of that is. So yeah, and all I remember about the other major part was that I had to catch the train home at 4 o'clock or so in the afternoon, and I looked on my map and I got to the train station, and then I realized that I had in fact got to the train station on the wrong side of the tracks, and the train was coming real soon. So I did a very bad thing, and I kind of ran across the train tracks to get to the other side, which of course is a very, very silly thing to do, and we should never do that. But I managed to get to the other side in pain, but safely without being hit by a train. Because people do get hit by trains, and you should. What did I see something about? Only trains run on. I said that some funny thing at a train station. It was like a thing on the internet about, and then I can't remember. If I can even remember what it was, it was funny. But it basically ended with, "And you probably aren't a train." Only trains go on the train tracks or something, and you'll probably, like, if I say that, it doesn't sound funny at all. So I don't know what really the joke was. What's happening here? Yes. So I thought, well, yesterday I started a story and then I didn't finish it. My arm was better today. Now it feels worse. Like, it felt pretty bad this morning, and then I managed to actually do some programming and stuff, and like I could type and all that, and then I did some other things which require my hands, and then it was all good, and then I went out on my bike, and now it doesn't feel so good, but it definitely feels like a different pain, like I have done something to my arm that was not something I had done previously. And the thing that was causing me problems previously is in fact getting better and on the way to healing. So my typing didn't seem to be much of a hassle today. But it certainly feels different. The good news is I finally booked an appointment with the physiotherapist for next Tuesday. So if anyone actually watches these and hears me going on about my arm issues, and like, why didn't you just go to a physiotherapist in the first place? Well, because I didn't really want to, because they're expensive, and half the time I don't know. Actually, I went to the physiotherapist after my this bicycle incident, because, well, it hurt, and I was like, why did this happen? And they didn't really know in the end. It was like one of these things, but they were like, "You're the second." A friend of mine had also cycled to Hamilton just a few days, I think, sometime before me, but didn't quite make it in the end, and they had some leg problems, and they'd gone to exactly the same physiotherapist. They were like, "You're the second person to come to me who's just said that they've cycled to Hamilton and have had leg problems." So there you go. I will actually say why I think I had leg problems, but I'll save that for another day, because it's a silly story that can wait for another day. So I feel like on this channel I need to play with Lego and build things. This is a very strange thing here to be making. It's like it just feels like it's got a weird, like, because it's got one of these things going, one of the triangles going the wrong way, and the other one's going this way, and it has this sort of, it gives it a weird tactile sensation that I feel. Even though I'm not actually touching it that much. I think it's a synesthetic response. Just to look at this makes me feel the tech. I don't know, it feels funny. But it looks neat. I feel like I should make a creation entirely of things like this. Well, I have got quite a few. They are the pick a brick thing. Do have lots of these triangle things in two different colours, not brown. Why is there another one over here? Where did that one come from? I've already got a spare here. So this is pretty much it, right? Well, I don't know where these... Well, I've actually got completely confused. I've done something super wrong here, haven't I? Because isn't he supposed to be on the front? This doesn't go here, does it? Nope. It doesn't. Alright, this, my friend, goes here. Like that. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera. Okay. There. Oh, I haven't put the head on. Like that. Oh, I just threw a piece on the floor by accident. Okay, well that's bad. So the hat goes on. Oh, they've got like I've got so many of these fire things, and they just need to have a whole pile of these pirate hats at the pick a brick thing, and then it will be great. All right, and we've got that, and then this just has to go. Are you kidding me? Like, oh, what? So, oh, sorry, Batman. So where does this part come into it? Alright, that goes on the top. I really wasn't paying any attention for this section. So it's got to go the right way around. That way. That goes like that. And then that just seems like everything in this whole set seems very flimsy. It's like he's designed to fall apart. Well, I guess he's designed to be like, you know, that something that somebody made up, and they're not really good at Lego, but they're just like sticking everything which is what you should do with Lego, right? You should just put everything together in some random mishmash, and that's how he's created, right? And that's his whole point. And so you don't want it to be, you know, that solid, because that doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like there should be something holding them in place, but maybe when they're finished, everything will make more sense. I feel like I should put all the spare bits inside the chest, including that spare bit. Oh, this is a good spare bit because it's got the little lock on it. I actually can't even hold in my hand. Look at the lock. Look at the lock. Look at it. Oops. So now I've got two of those. Alright. Fits nice and snug. So that was bag number 2, which wasn't that much. But bag number 3 also isn't that much. Oh, I should actually just finish it tonight, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because I did on the video for the previous one. Because I'm actually now posting pretty much at the day after I make these videos. I said 1 of 3, so I can't. I just simply cannot do bag number 3 tonight, because then there'll only be 2 videos for this, and then I would have lied about being 1 of 3. So you get the dilemma. So thanks for watching. Does this really count as a minifigure? Like, does this set have 3 minifigures or 2 minifigures? Or is this just 2.5? 2.5. That's it. All right. Thanks for watching, and bye.